ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the CD Racoola Show. Today we have an extra special episode of the show as we take a look at my favorite horror movies from the 1980s. The 80s were a crazy decade, from the fall of the Berlin Wall to the creation of MTV. Just a ton of stuff going on. But you guys aren't here for a history lesson. You're here to listen to old CD talk about his favorite horror movies from the 80s. So, before we get into this episode of the show here, if you guys could pull up in your white convertible and go ahead and slick back that golden hair of yours and click that subscribe button, I would certainly bow to you, as low as my 600-year-old back allows me to. So here's how we're going to do this, because there are just so many great horror films in the 80s, and I can't list them all. I'm going to go through this year by year, similar to the way I did my 90s time period horror films episode. Check that out if you have the time. Again, if I missed one of your favorite horror films, feel free to rip me to absolute shreds in the comments of this video and tell me what film should have made this list. So without further ado, let's kick things off with the year 1980. We had the first Friday the 13th film, The Fog, and of course, The Shining. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, after all. There is nothing dull, however, about the next year on the list. 1981, we had The Evil Dead, My Bloody Valentine, and my most popular review of the CD Racoola Show I have ever done, An American Werewolf in London. What a year for horror films 1981 was. All those films, they certainly still hold up to this day, to say the least. Moving on to 1982, we had Poltergeist, The Thing, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Oh, by the way, that Halloween film did not feature Michael Myers, but I think it's still an interesting watch, even though you gotta have Michael Myers for Halloween. 1983, here we come, baby. Cujo, that rascally pup. Christine and the Dead Zone. Stephen King owned 80s horror, and 1983 was certainly no different. 1984 was so awesome, seeing the introduction of some great horror franchises, with Children of the Corn, so scary, Nightmare on Elm Street with my favorite horror monster of all time, Freddy Krueger. Then you had Gremlins. Oh, I love me some Gremlins. 1985, we had Day of the Dead, one of my personal faves, Fright Night and Silver Bullet. Man, that was a good year. They just keep getting better, don't they, as we go along. Up next, we have 1986. We had Critters, Maximum Overdrive, and The Fly. The Fly was so gross in the scariest and best of ways. 1987 had The Lost Boys, one of my favorites of all time, The Monster Squad, and Hellraiser. Well, I can say this, as much as I liked all these other years in the 80s, 1987 may be my favorite so far as a whole. 1988, up next on my list, features Pumpkinhead, Night of the Demons, and we got introduced to that little rascal Chucky in Child's Play. Closing out the list, I'm almost sad because it has been a fun trip down memory lane for me, but we had Pet Sematary, The Burbs, and Puppet Master. Those were three goodies in 1989, that's for sure. So that's all we have for the 80s. What a great decade for horror films. films. I would like to thank you guys for joining me here on this episode of the CD Racoola Show. And if you could, hit that subscribe button for me. I would appreciate you, my pretties. Please feel free to join us here next episode of the show as I take a look at the film The Nun. Oh, that looks terrifying, that's for sure. So, till next time, my little bloodbags out there in YouTube land, I'll leave you with a quote from one of my favorite 80s films, Lost Boys. And I like this quote because it pretty much sums up my own life in the 80s as a vampire. It goes something like this. Sleep all day, party all night, never grow old, never die. It's fun to be a vampire. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, my dears. Ta-ta. Ta-ta.